Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, Tank12, however you call me, I don't really care. Welcome back to World of Tanks. Today we're going to be talking about the first auction, the first slot. It's the Object 268 version 5. We're going to get right into it, and hopefully you guys will have a little bit of an idea what the tank is about afterwards. Now, very quickly, I'm going to do some promotion for my clan. The clan has been online. It's on the North American server. We're 3 people at the moment. If you're interested in the clan, go ahead. I'm going to put a link in the description below and you can join us. This clan is for fun. We're going to be doing some fun stuff. Probably giveaways in the future if I'm going to do giveaways. We'll also be done with the clan in mind as well, I guess. So if you're interested, join the clan. There's going to be a Discord channel as well. And yeah, we're gonna go get back to the vehicle. The vehicle at hand is the Object 268 version 5. It has been in the auction prior. I spent 500,000 experience for this tank, and this time around you're gonna be buying it for at least 20 million credits. Now the question is it going to be worth 20 million credits, and are you going to be able to snag one? Because the minimum bid is 20 million credits. That's a lot of credits. That is basically almost 3 tier 10 tanks that you could buy for the full price. But buying tier 10 tanks for the full price, that is a very foolish thing to do, because there are always very good discounts, and you should not be buying tier 10 tanks for the full price. Yeah, the Object 268 version 5 is basically a T10A heavy tank, but with a very, very big gun. This gun, 750 alpha damage, which is very nice, actually has some nice statistics. It has decent dispersion, 0.36. It has 300 millimeters of penetration, a very nice heat shell, which does 395 millimeters of penetration, and the AP shell flies okay for at least the caliber, and the heat shell on the other hand is fairly slow, so that's something you have to keep in mind. But with these numbers of penetration, you should not have a problem going through bigger targets, very well armored targets at tier 10. Now, one of the major downsides to this tank is the very bad load time. Gun loading time is 19.6 seconds for a single shot, and the gun depression of 5 degrees is also quite lacking. At the same time, your aim time is also not the best. Now keep in mind, all of the equipment I have on this tank is basically just things I had lying around. Do not put too much thought on this equipment, because I have not played this tank a whole lot. So this is not a review, this is just a little bit of an overview of what I've noticed so far. Basically what I've noticed is that the turret armor is okay, but it's going to be very easily basically be put aside, because the turret here has a very big weak spot, which is the cupola, which is fairly thin. The hull armor is basically the same that you have on a T10, so it's not going to be very thick, 120 at the front, and your HP is also not going to be the best, 2160 HP. It's not going to be saving you a lot of the times. So if you look at it firepower wise and survivability wise, the tank is not on the highest level, but it's also no slouch, at least in terms of firepower. Downside is just the very, very bad reload time, and survivability wise, the armor can pretty much be just taken apart with basically any standard tier 10 round if you hit the lower plate and if you hit the cupola on top, which is not very hard to hit. Top speed on the vehicle for a tank destroyer is actually quite good, 48 kph. 15 in reverse is very, very bad. But one of the major downsides for the vehicle is the specific power to weight ratio is not very good, so you might want to use a turbo, and you also have very, very bad traverse speed. So if you're running this tank, I would advise running extra combat rations as well to just improve your firepower, improve your traverse speed for the turret and the tracks, because you'll need it. Now if we go on over to concealment and spotting, things are not going to get much better. Concealment on the vehicle at the moment is okay, because I'm using a camouflage net class 2. I had that thing lying around. And spotting, as you can see, 300 70 meters space view range is actually, no, 360, that is quite atrocious if you ask me. Now, so far, I have not been telling you guys a lot of positives. This tank in like far range engagement is actually not too bad. I've actually enjoyed playing this tank when I was not at the front lines myself. I like to go to the front lines with my tanks, but it doesn't really work that well. I think we should go into a match, just a little live commentary gameplay, and see what the tank is capable of doing, and then I can give you a little bit of a verdict. 20 million credits, keep in mind, is a lot of credits, but at the same time, it's actually not free experience. 20 million credits is not gold, it's not bonds, it's credits. So in the end, you can basically make back all of the credits that you have spent. It's just gonna take you a very, very long time to get 20 million credits into your account. At least for me, it would take a very long time. Because I don't constantly want to be playing tier 8 premium tanks, even though I do play a lot of tier 8 premium tanks. So, having looked at the stats, nothing really shines, you know, nothing kind of peeks out and says, oh, this is a tank that you really have to go for. But I think that's not too bad, because we need more tanks that are kind of balanced, such as the Object 268 version 5. I think it's not overpowered, I think it's not completely bad. I think it's in a state where you can play it and have some fun for it, especially if you like maybe the T-10 or Soviet heavy tanks, but you also want to have the damage output or the alpha damage that, you know, some tier 10 tank destroyers do also allow you to have. So I think it's a little bit of a hybrid where you do kind of somebody's already complaining about the tank. What a piece of shit. But yeah, I understand why he is not like a super like excited, because I understand that the tank itself, there was a lot of hype around it, and hype is never gonna really be the best thing surrounding a tank. But, you know, 835 damage right there, but having to wait 17.6 seconds is pretty damn brutal. So you really need to have the right equipment on it. You have to have the field modifications, and I think if you have all of these things together, you're going to have a pretty okay tank. But that's maybe not something you want to hear when you hear the price tag of 20 million credits at least. And it's not going to secure you for 20 million credits. I don't think you're going to be able to get this tank for 20 million. You'll probably at least have to spend more than 20 million. I'd say about maybe 23, 25 million should be like what you put into it if you really want to get it. Maybe even more than 25. Because there are a lot of players who have a lot of credits, and they will probably be out there waiting for an opportunity to get a tank that is, you know, as elusive as this one, because, you know, it's a very special vehicle that you are not able to buy outright for gold or grind in the game. But at the same time, you were able to actually buy it outright for gold, if you think about it. But I think, you know, if you keep your distance like I do right here, you also have to kind of have the chance to do this. Then I think this tank actually does do fairly well. But if we get caught outside and we do a little bit, you know, we're a bit too aggressive, I think this is going to be a pretty damning vehicle to play. Also, it sucks when you get a critical hit and do no damage, but I guess that's World of Tanks now. His tracks just ate a 152mm shell, which is as big as this bloody tank that is driving away, but he's going to die any second now, so I'm not even going to pay attention to that AMX 50-105. 13-105, excuse me. Oh my god, stop stealing my kills. So yeah, I'm sorry that I don't have any more time to show off the armor potential. I will try to move up further into the enemy's path. I probably do not want to get overrun, because it looks like they're actually winning the flank back. So we're going to have a problem here in a second. I just blind fired an AMX 13105, which was a very bad idea. And now I have a very big problem. So maybe you'll actually see some armor on this tank. I'm actually going to get flanked by a... I'm actually getting absolutely annihilated in this scenario right here. At least we put one more into the mouse. Hopefully we'll win this match and they cap it, because we might just have kind of lost this match because we were... Oh no, we just lost this game. Either way, I think you'll see that the armor is not very reliable, and we all kind of gave away this win because we should have capped it, and I took way too long to get in here. But I haven't been playing a lot of World of Tanks lately, so I'm gonna take myself out of the equation. Either way, the Object 268 version 5, it's not the greatest tier 10 tank destroyer, but it's also not the worst. Is it worth the 20 million credits price tag that you have to pay for this vehicle? Well, that's certainly going to be something you'll have to decide for yourself. I think stats-wise, it's not worth all of those credits. At the same time, it's a unique vehicle. If you're a tank collector, this is probably the best chance to pick it up and not having to spend money if you have a lot of credits, you know, seated at the back. Now, the issue is just... Oh, look at that jump. Ooh, he took 526 damage, but it was a nice kill. The issue is, in the end, not everyone is going to have that money lying around. There's going to be FOMO because everyone wants to have it, and people will buy it, and they will be quite upset when they find out that it's not going to be particularly good in close quarter combat or particularly good in any kind of scenario. It's actually a tank that is decent, and I think it's balanced, and you can see we hit like 4 hits, 3,456 damage. Having the 750 alpha is very, very nice. I admit that. I do miss that. A lot of the other tier 10 heavies now have like 650. And now only the tank destroyers, or select few tank destroyers, have the 750. And the 60 TPS 750. Oh my god, I didn't know that the 60 TPS 750 alpha damage. Either way, I think the Object 268 version 5 is a vehicle that is definitely great for collectors, but for players who are trying to play this as competitively as possible, and they might think that this is like another chieftain, are probably going to be very disappointed when they get this tank. But if you want to have a tank that is like a T10, has a turreted tier 10 Soviet tank destroyer, well, you don't have to look any further. This is your chance to pick up this tank. There is no other Soviet tank destroyer at tier 10 with this kind of gun, with this kind of loadout, but you can also just go for the Object 277, and you're probably going to have a better tank with better armor, much better turret, and also a very hard-hitting 490 alpha damage gun with better load time and overall probably better stats than the Object 268 version 5. But it's not broken, and if you have the money lying around, it could be an option for you. I'm going to finish this video right here. Look at the clan if you're interested, and I'll see you guys on the next video, which is going to be tomorrow because it's the auction, and I'm going to do a video on that as well. And yeah.